Yo, what's up? Welcome to Kind of Funny Games Daily for Tuesday, September 29th, 2020. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing Adeoye Jr. Joining me is Imran, the Don Khan.
Howdy.
Imran, how's it going?
It's going okay. It's real overcast today, which is good because the last couple of days it's been way too hot.
Oh my God, dude. I've been talking about this on shows. Over the weekend, it was very hot in San Francisco. And it's one of those things where I'm on the top floor of my apartment building. And so all the heat rises and the insulation here sucks. And so the heat just gets trapped in my apartment. And it got so bad that like even yesterday, I think I was like halfway through PS Love You XOXO before I was just like, I am like, I can't concentrate anymore. I'm just sweating profusely. Like I am very hot. Such a problem.
I was streaming Hades yesterday. I was just sitting in this chair, and then like I was playing for maybe like an hour and a half. I got up and like it's one of those things of I'm wearing a t-shirt, but I feel stuck to this chair. And that is the grossest feeling.
Yeah. You gotta love it. But yeah, it's nice that it's overcast today. That means it's cooler. And that means I can chill and not be dying of heat in the middle of a podcast. I want to point out right now, for those who are watching the video version of the show, I got on a Nintendo 64 t-shirt and a Rareware sweatshirt. Obviously, because we're in Donktober, baby. We're almost in Donktober.
What are you talking about?
I should say Donktober starts this week. In my mind, I'm already in Donktober.
We're in Donktober.
It's Donktober. It's how like Greg Miller will start celebrating Halloween 2 weeks ago, halfway through September. He's like, oh yeah, I'm putting up the orange and black, the Halloween colors that everybody knows. That's what Greg Miller sounds like when he talks. That's what I'm like with Donktober. I'm already celebrating it. Of course, it starts this Saturday, and I'm very excited about it.
Has he not bought you a jacket for Halloween to wear?
No, is that a thing? Oh, he did that last year, didn't he?
Like no, he didn't buy that last year. I had to wear his.
Oh,
so it was that giant jacket.
What are the odds?
That was Christmas, right? That was like his Santa Claus.
That was Christmas as well. I also had to wear the Halloween one the entire month of October.
What are the odds that he's going to do that again? I'd say they're pretty high. That he's going to wear the suit for all of October.
I'm just saying, like, why has there not been a package from like Spirit Halloween online? Because I assume they have an online presence.
I believe we have a relationship with them now. In the sense that they saw him wearing the suit and they sent him a bunch of goodies.
Well, you need to give Blessing a jacket so Blessing can 1, learn the Halloween colors, and 2, wear the jacket every day on Games Daily.
If I get a delivery at my door within the next, let's say, a few days, right, and I open it up, it's a suit that is Halloween colors, which, as I understand it, are orange and black, as people keep telling me and won't stop telling me.
So, okay, I missed the initial thing of that. Did you not know they were orange and black, or did you think they were like different colors? Like, did you think they were like purple and red or something?
I just didn't care. Like, one, I think I've never really thought
they were
about
purple and green. It's just funny he won't admit it now.
I've never really thought about the Halloween colors or the fact that there are Halloween colors. Like the only holiday I've really paid attention to colors is Christmas. Everything else can get fucked in terms of holidays, as far as I'm concerned. I'm sure 4th of July is probably red, white, and blue.
You're gonna upset a whole bunch of people. Just chill out, bro. Some of us really like.
You know what, man? Fuck these holidays, man. You think I care about holidays, man? Every day is a holiday for me, man. I'm celebrating. Imran, let's celebrate some video games, because today's stories include EA Play coming to Game Pass at launch, what's next for Need for Speed, and more, because this is Kind of Funny Games Daily, each and every weekday at 10 a.m. live right here on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. We run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. If you're watching live, you can correct us when we get stuff wrong by going to kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. If you don't want to watch live, you can watch later on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, roosterteeth.com, or you can listen later on podcast services around the globe by searching for Kind of Funny Games Daily. To be a part of the show, at the patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, or bronze members or above get to write in, and silver members or above get the show ad-free with the exclusive daily post show. Housekeeping, it's Tuesday, and you know what that means. A new episode of PS I Love You XOXO is live right now. This week, Greg and I predicted the Metacritic scores for the whole PS5 launch lineup. And let me backtrack. Well, I said whole. We did the meta scores specifically for the new games that are coming out with the launch lineup. There was like a lot of clarification going on in the episode about what the rules were, what the guidelines were. But check it out. It's a pretty fun episode.
Some people say the clarifications are the best parts. Other people disagree.
I mean, I'm with you, Kevin. I think the clarification adds to the episode. I think it adds flavor. I think it gives us all context of what's going on.
That's the opposite. Do you remember? I was arguing that like you should have done this beforehand.
How dare you, Kevin? How dare you talk back to me right now, Kevin?
What is
after all I've done for you?
What was the highest rated PS5 exclusive? Or yeah.
I think I predicted it to be Demon Souls. I think Greg might have predicted it to be Spider-Man Miles Morales.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I easily see Demon Souls rating higher on Metacritic.
I think there's gonna be a lot of people who are like, "Well, we didn't rate this high before, and we were wrong. So what if we fix that this time?"
So as we were going through, because the exact way we did it was we were assigning numbers that we like. Whoever got closer as far as like the review score you put out there is the one that gets the point. And with that, when we like looked at the previous games to see like, all right, which are the ones that like how do we compare what's coming out in the launch lineup to what these developers have put out before? And Demon Souls is pretty surprisingly high. Like I think it had like a 90, 91, something like that on Metacritic, unless I'm misremembering and I'm getting it confused with something else. And to that, like I'm like, dude, if that's the case, and we're getting a Blue Point remake, and we know Blue Point knows how to put out quality work, and like that thing is going to review pretty high, I imagine. But we'll see. Tune into PS Love You XOXO to get all our context behind our choices, and so you can hear our choices and all that good stuff. Like I said before, Donktober begins this Saturday. Me and Barrett are playing through the entirety of DK64. You can catch that live every Saturday this month, starting at noon Pacific time, and then later on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Tom Bach, Mohammed Mohammed, and Blackjack. Today we're brought to you by Upstart, Hims, and Logitech, but I'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is, and forever will be, the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 4 stories today.
That sounded like one of those like an SNES game start. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I was trying to not drop the cereal out of my mouth. Because I had a mouthful of cereal and I panicked, guys. I panicked
legit
hard.
Sounded like the Street Fighter 2 announcer. Like, yes. That was great. Starting with our number one, EA Play on Game Pass is launching alongside the Xbox Series X. This is from Tom Warren at The Verge. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscribers will get access to EA Play just in time for Microsoft's next-gen console launch. EA Play is arriving on Xbox Game Pass Ultimate on November 10th, the same day that Microsoft launches both the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S consoles. Only Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscribers, that's the $14.99 per month option, will get access to EA Play alongside the xCloud and bundled Xbox Live Gold benefits. EA Play will include access to more than 60 additional EA games, including The Sims, FIFA, Mass Effect, and many more. EA Play is similar to Game Pass, but exclusive to EA's games. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscribers will also be able to download and play games from EA Play on Windows 10 PCs in December, boosting the collection of games available on the PC side of Xbox Game Pass. This is one of those ones where on its own isn't necessarily big news. Like we knew EA Play was coming to Game Pass. That's the thing that broke a few weeks ago. We're now getting the date. And I think this all kind of feeds into an interesting narrative, right? In terms of how Xbox is gearing up for the launch of Series X and S, how they are kind of strategically dominating the news cycle, right? Like yesterday, we talked all about the previews that went up for Xbox Series X and S. Today we get this, and even just generally, consistently, I think Microsoft has been doing a very, very good job keeping themselves active in the news cycle. And this is another one of those hits that I think is going to be pretty big for them. Imran.
Yeah, they had a real bad summer in terms of like getting people hyped up for their new consoles, but I think what the fall has taught us is they didn't not care, but they wanted to put the reason they didn't get us that hyped up for new consoles is because they wanted to get us hyped up for Game Pass. And the last month of Game Pass stuff has been, and even just like implications, like now that they have Bethesda on there, what does that mean for Game Pass? And it means a lot. And they already said like, hey, Doom Eternal's coming. Other Game Pass games should probably be there by launch. Like it's in the last month they've made a big deal about how big Game Pass is going to be. And I was thinking like, I know Jedi Fallen Order is not on EA Play yet for whatever reason. Like that game is just not on the archives. If they launch with that, and that's a big showcase of here's what backwards compatibility on Series X or Series S can do, like that is a big deal because that game did not run great. That game had some problems.
Yeah. No, I think that could be a huge thing, right? Especially if I know that game got some post-launch updates, but it's never really gotten like a big DLC expansion. At this point, I don't necessarily even expect it. But if I'm living in a what if world, right? Like, what if that could be the thing for that game, right? Where it comes out backwards compatible, part of EA Play. That means you get it through Game Pass, and then there is some sort of like, by the way, here's this extra thing that we're throwing into Jedi Fallen Order for you. Like, I think that could be a really cool thing. My question for you, because we've been talking about Xbox Game Pass and what they've been building it to be, where do you think Xbox, like, do you think at this point Xbox is like, we've done it, like Xbox Game Pass has reached its full potential? Do you think they're trying to go even further with it? Like, where do you think their end goal is with Game Pass?
So I think they're trying to stave off the Netflix issue of like, eventually third parties are going to require like so much money or time exclusivity for their game. Not exclusivity, that's not the word I'm looking for, but shorter time frames that games are on Game Pass or later after release or whatever, things like that. That they're trying to head that off by saying, okay, well, what if we just go ahead and start bolstering for original programming, so to speak, now? And I think that is where Game Pass is going to ultimately head, is the idea of, yeah, maybe Cyberpunk won't be there day one, but it'll be there eventually. And in the meantime, we have Elder Scrolls, all that jazz. I was going to say Fallout 76, but then I found out recently Fallout 76 is already on Game Pass, which is
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Really damning of that game that I did not know that. But yeah, I think Microsoft is preparing for the situation of there's going to be droughts on Game Pass because as it gets more popular, and it's gained like 5 million people in the last 6 months, as it gets more popular, people are going to start demanding more money or like longer frames before they put their games on there. I think Microsoft is going, let's build up a big shelter in case of those times. A nuclear shelter that if things go wrong, we have a big enough thing to keep people happy happy and subscribed for the meantime.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like, in terms of what could a possible drought mean for it? Because like right now it does feel like they're gearing up towards launch. Like they're like really building out that library. EA Play is going to do a lot for it, obviously, and then like purchasing Bethesda is going to do a lot for it, obviously, for first party. But even with the idea of a drought, like even if Xbox Game Pass was just purely first party Xbox games, like, it's still like a pretty good deal. And so like that alongside like all this different third party stuff that they're getting, the indie stuff that they've been able to get pretty consistently on there, it still seems like they've built out something that has kind of reached like a level of, yeah, this is good now. Y'all have built something special here, which we've gotten plenty of questions over the weeks of like, is this sustainable? Like how are they doing this? Can Xbox Game Pass continue to cost only $10 with all the stuff that's on it? Like, what is going on here?
Like, the price will go up. It's like, it's the subscriber or early founder fee or whatever you want to call it. Like, it's gonna eventually go up like Prime did, like Netflix did, all that jazz. We just gonna have to accept that, and hopefully the service gets better alongside it. But who knows? Like, the industry is constantly changing, and as services, I'm sure Microsoft will want to do everything in their power to make sure it doesn't go up, because the numbers look good even if the revenue isn't there. And I think there's like a line that crosses another line at some point that says like, okay, at this point people start falling off. But yeah, I also have like questions about sustainability, but for right now it is actually good for the consumer to have this stuff. So as long as that exists and as long as it's not changing the game design to match it, that is the major concern I have. Is I love Sea of Thieves. I think that game is really good. I don't want every game to be Sea of Thieves. So
yeah,
as long as they figure that line out, and that line may be, we make some games that sell Game Pass and some games that are just good. Like, I'm sorry, that's a bad way to put it. But some games are just like a Sony style single player narrative game, those kind of things. Like, if they have the difference on those and like just say we're taking a loss, quote unquote, on the latter, then I think that thing will work out really well. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, for sure. Like I think, having that multi-layered strategy there, I think does a lot for it, right? Like to where you're saying of like we'll have games that sell it, but then also games that are on it. I think that makes a lot of sense in terms of putting Elder Scrolls 6 or putting Starfield on Game Pass. That is going to sell Game Pass to so many people. People are going to show up for that. Whereas like on the other side of it, we've had games over the years like Outer Wilds, which is an excellent game, and like so many people's favorite game at this point. Like people had so many glowing things to say about Outer Wilds. Outer Wilds wasn't necessarily a game that I would say sold Game Pass, but the fact that it was on Game Pass maybe opened it up to people in ways that maybe wouldn't have reached the same amount of people if it wasn't on Game Pass. If that makes sense.
Was that on Game Pass?
Outer Wilds. Yeah. Like when it launched. Yeah.
Okay, when it launched, sure. I was trying to think like this is one of those things of I'm never sure whether the other person is talking about Outer Worlds or not.
Outer Worlds versus Outer Wilds, yeah.
Yes.
Both of them were on Game Pass.
Yes.
Yeah.
When he said everyone's favorite game, I was like, oh, that can't be Outer Wilds. Or Outer Worlds, sorry. Yeah. But yes, that I agree. Like, I think it is going to be a matter of getting the next big thing in some cases, but people shine to subscription services a lot more than they used to, and I think Microsoft is calling the right calls right now. So if they can just keep doing that, and if they don't, like all this could be completely upended if there's like a game that's only free to play on PS4 and it's or PS5 and it's the biggest game in the world, and it's for some reason not on Xbox.
Yeah. Metal Gear Solid HD or Metal Gear Solid Remake, I should say.
Yeah, if that's the case, then like sure, like Fall Guys is a kind of good example of like that game sold a lot, but it was also the most downloaded PS Plus game. That does good for Sony's reputation of, hey, we have free online games, quote unquote, free online games with the subscription as well. So hopefully Microsoft can I think the next step of this is not necessarily, hey, we got games that would have been at retail, but now they're on our service. The next step is, hey, now we're going to go out there and just try and pick up interesting looking games.
Yeah, no, I think that definitely makes sense. Going back a bit to the idea that Microsoft has been very consistent over the last, I'll say month or so in terms of messaging and kind of dominating the news cycle with all this different stuff with the previews, with Bethesda, with today with the announcement of the launch of EA Play with Xbox Series S, right? Like, how do you feel when we compare that to what PlayStation is doing with their messaging cycle? This is a conversation that me and Greg were having a little bit on the post show yesterday about PS Love You, where we're kind of theorizing and thinking about yeah, man, PlayStation's not really been as talkative. Folks have Series X's, or I should say media have Series X's to try out and preview and stuff. We've seen the UI, we've seen so many different things when it comes to what the Series X is and what that is going to look like towards launch. Whereas on the PlayStation side, we've gotten very controlled messaging. And I'm in a place currently where I'm like, all right, that could be one of two things. I'm of two different minds of it, where I'm like, man, it could be we're just trying to control messaging. It's a weird time, and we're trying to grapple with how we're going to sell you guys and preview this console that is coming up without actually having people come out and be able to preview it. And also how vital is it for us to show the UI months before? Could we just do that a week or two before on the PlayStation blog and have that be a thing? That's that's one side of it that I'm on. The other side of it is, are they having trouble landing this plane? Is there a lot of things up in the air and a lot of fog that are that is making things difficult to really nail down, because they're messaging things as they're coming in, because things are coming in kind of rough right now. Do you have any thoughts on that, or how do you come down on all that?
So I was gonna tweet about this yesterday, and I decided not to, because I tweet about a lot of things, and I have never gotten a tweet that has gotten I tweet about political things. No political tweet I've ever made has gotten as much anger as console wars tweets. So if anything comparing the PS5 and Xbox Series X gets so many people upset. 100%. So I didn't tweet about this, but I'll just talk about it now. The last week or last month, I'd say, of the ways Microsoft and Sony have been presenting their arguments for next gen, I'm honestly feeling maybe I should have gotten a Series X as well. And now I'm okay, yeah, I probably backwards compatibility is a good example of in the end, maybe that's not the biggest deal in the world. It's not going to sell systems, but I'm looking at that like, okay, I know what the Xbox Series X can do. I don't know what the PS5 can do, and we're already muddying up things of I don't know whether saves are going to transfer from the PS4 to the PS5. And like Avengers has straight up said, okay, we'll have a save transfer. But I'm like, is that a tool that they're using? Is it going to be on the cloud? Because I know that game saves aren't server side, because I know people are already cheating on PC. So it's stuff like that that I need questions answered from Sony. And Sony's like, I don't know. Like I was looking at the create button thing. They've not said what that is yet. We can assume what it is. We can assume it's share with some extra stuff, like just integrate Share Factory. But they announced that button, or announced quote unquote, in a PS blog months and months ago. We're like, we'll share more about this soon. It's like, no, you didn't. We're less than 2 months away from launch. Like, tell me what the button does. I don't really care that much, but if you're gonna tell me that it like does something and you can't tell me right then,
or if it's a key feature of your controller, right, that like you highlight when you reveal your controller, you figure that okay, cool, we're gonna know more about this before the thing actually launches.
Yeah, and like I know, for example, Cyberpunk has a PS4 version and a PS5 version, and the PS4 version they've announced will go to become the PS5 version when that releases. That's cool. They've not said whether that PS5 version has my saves in the PS4 version. And if it doesn't, then there's just no fucking way I'm going to get Cyberpunk on PS4. Like, I'm not going to start that game for a save that's just going to go away at some point. And like, it's stuff like that that Microsoft has assured me, like, oh, or not assured me personally, but assured players, like, yeah, this stuff just works. It's the same OS. The Series X can read the Xbox One X save files. I don't know that PS5 can. This is a weird thing to harp on, but it's stuff that like,
no, I mean, but like it's real though. Like it is kind of it's a thing that we're very up in the air on, especially with that Yakuza Like a Dragon news. It is like, okay, yeah, so it's not a thing I've really thought about because I just assumed that stuff would carry over, especially because on the Xbox side, it seems like through smart delivery that stuff does carry over. But like, and you know what? I think there's a question about this. I'm gonna scroll down through the doc to see, because I could have sworn somebody had a thing to. Okay, here we go. It's damn, this is a long question. I'm going to bring in this question from Will Ramos, who writes into patreon.com/kindafunnygames. Buckle in because this is a long one. Is the Yakuza series now becoming more of an Xbox series? As we've known for quite some time, the latest entry in the Yakuza series, Yakuza Like a Dragon, will be multi-platform for the first time and will launch on November 10th, 2020 for Xbox One, Series S/X, PS4, and PC, with PS5 releasing at a later date. Well, the news broke yesterday, and we know that Yakuza Like a Dragon releases on March 21st, 2021 for PS5, almost 4 months after the initial release date. Not only that, but it was also revealed that while PS4 owners will get a free PS5 upgrade to the game, however, their progress will not carry over. By contrast, Yakuza Like a Dragon will be an Xbox Series X launch title with smart delivery capabilities, meaning that you get the free next-gen upgrade and your save data transfers seamlessly. What's going on with Yakuza on PS5? Yakuza is a series that is synonymous with PlayStation, so it's bizarre as hell to see that this game will be out on other platforms 4 months earlier, including PS4, and that it will not have transferable saves. A couple of things. One, did Microsoft pay for timed exclusivity, or did something go wrong during the development of this game on the PS5 SKU? Two, PS5 and Series X are very similar machines with similar architecture. So how is it that Xbox supports save data transfers but not PlayStation? It can't be a limitation to the box itself. We've seen it for other titles, so it has to be Sony making that call, right? I just find this whole situation bizarre, and this is the kind of thing that I think could really push gamers towards Xbox via death by 1,000 cuts. Is this indicative of a bigger issue with Sony, or is this a one-off situation? Thanks again for reading my question. Be well and stay safe, Will Ramos. A lot here. A lot that is more about like Yakuza as a franchise. But like Will does touch on here like the save data transfer thing, which is the big thing. Because when I try to explain it to myself, the way I explain it is, all right, I guess the disconnect here is that Yakuza Like a Dragon for PS4 is a PS4 game with a PS4 save, whereas the PS5 version is just an entirely different version that is disconnected in a way where they're not going to make those saves talk. Which, like,
that seems dumb. Even if that's true,
yes.
That seems super dumb.
Yes, like that seems off, especially in comparison to Xbox, where it seems like they have that figured out.
Yeah, like if you've built a PS5 under the precept that it is not going to read PS4 saves, then something went wrong, because it should just be able to do that. Like, okay, so let me hit these questions in order. Did MS pay for a time exclusivity? Yes.
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 100%.
Like,
obviously.
like, because it is like, as Will Ramos mentioned in the question, the series is synonymous with PlayStation. Microsoft took a really hard introspective look at themselves in quarter 1 of 2017, where there were a bunch of big games that came from Japan and they had none of them. And not just in Japan, just in general, there were a bunch of big games that they didn't have any of those big releases. And like, obviously they're not going to get Zelda, but they could get Yakuza. So that became a big thing of like courting Sega and talking to them and like arranging, hey, what if you put this thing here? It's gonna, maybe you'll do better. And I get Yakuza 0 did pretty well on Game Pass.
Didn't the Microsoft guy say he didn't believe in that? It wasn't like, don't people throw that around all the time? They're like, oh no, Microsoft doesn't believe in exclusivity that way.
They all say bullshit.
Yeah, that's right. It's all bullshit. Yeah. It was bullshit when he said it. It's bullshit now.
Marketing, I'll quote Tim Geddes, marketing is a bitch.
Yes.
Like it really is.
All right, and for save data transfers, what I'm thinking is happening is that Sony must have released a tool to developers sometime in the last, let's say, 6 to 8 months. And now developers who are making a game can use that tool for the PS4 releases to have the PS5 version read the next gen or read the old save file. Because Miles Morales, if you buy mid-game, for example, the PS5 upgrade, you can continue off your save. Spider-Man, however, you cannot. So there must have been something you need to put in the original code for the game, in the PS4 version, that lets the save file like transfer over. I'm worried that that's gonna like, who has that and who doesn't? Because Yakuza 7 is at this point, it came out December of last year in Japan. So I don't think they're touching that stuff now. But like, I imagine stuff that's like being made at this time right now. So like Horizon Forbidden West probably has a transfer. I'm trying to think, Sackboy probably has a transfer, but the rest of those older games probably don't. So I'm not that worried, but I am a little worried about like, okay, so who has that and who doesn't? Does CD Projekt Red have that? If they don't, are they going to be able to patch it? And I'm assuming no, because other people haven't so far.
It's worrisome. Like it's one of those things where I'm like, this whole time I've just assumed that was going to work because it seems like one of those things that just should work. But the more and more we talk about it, the more and more we get more situations about it, it seems like, oh yeah, this might be like the again, like this plane that we're trying to land for this thing might be coming in a little bit rough due to fog or whatever the situation may be. And yeah, like to even for the Yakuza stuff, right? Like to Will's question of or not even Will's question, but Will pointing out that yeah, Yakuza is a series that has been synonymous with PlayStation. That very much I think does feed back into the Microsoft thing of, hey, yeah, like we're trying to elevate Game Pass, we're trying to elevate our library, we're trying to get more Japanese games on our platform, and we're trying to become more synonymous with, or not even synonymous. Synonymous feels like too strong a word. We're trying to feel capable like in that sense. And Yakuza is a great way to feel capable when it comes to, oh wait, yeah, Microsoft does have Japanese games on their platform. And like Yakuza, the multiple games from Yakuza series has appeared now on Game Pass, and it very much seems like Microsoft has been making attempts to take ownership of that franchise. And not even away from PlayStation, but in a way where it's not, we don't see Yakuza as a PlayStation franchise specifically anymore. And I guess with Like a Dragon, even like, yeah, it seems like they're trying to take it away from PlayStation.
That said, like Judgment is still PS4 exclusive. The Yakuza Remaster Collection is still PS4 exclusive. Like those games aren't even on PC, so it's not like, you know, the 4-month window. I imagine sucks for some PlayStation players, but it's not like Yakuza is still not primarily on PlayStation. That said, like the communication thing with PlayStation, I just want to see instant resume. I want to see like things load faster. Show me that stuff, and I will be like mollified a little bit. It's weird to me they haven't done that yet.
So to take it back, because we started this conversation talking about EA and EA Play and stuff, I want to get into story number 2 here. Speaking of EA, the still unannounced Need for Speed Hot Pursuit remaster has been rated. This is Andy Robinson at VGC. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered was rated by Korea's Games Rating and Administration Committee earlier this month, as spotted by VGC contributor Andrew Marmo, suggesting that a release for the title could be imminent. The remastered version of the Criterion Racer was first outed in a VentureBeat report in June, then listed by Amazon UK for release on multiple consoles, including Switch, on November 13th. Hot Pursuit is set in the fictional county of Seacrest, which is based on the American states of California, Oregon, and Washington. EA announced in February that it had handed Need for Speed development duties back to Criterion Games as it planned to restructure Ghost Games, which developed the last four entries in the racing series. And to be clear, because I realize that this might be a bit confusing, the Hot Pursuit remaster that we're talking about in this story is the remaster of the reboot that came out in like 2010-ish. And so like this isn't the original Need for Speed Hot Pursuit that we all love on like PS2. This is the PS3 version being remastered for probably PS4 and PS5.
Yeah, I really hate that they were sort of reusing Need for Speed names. Like that became needlessly confusing, especially as someone you like had to put in SKUs for like stuff into an outlet. Like this, it sucks when they reuse names. It's cool that I recall this being like the last really good Need for Speed game. So I'm excited to maybe play it again. But on the other hand, I own Burnout Paradise. I've never booted it up like since the remaster. I played the hell out of the original. So yeah, like it's good that EA is getting back into the remaster game. I hope they do more than just like Need for Speed titles and like obviously Mass Effect is coming at some point. Like Jeffy Grubb has more or less leaked the details of that game.
Yes,
but I want to see some other, like, why not do a Shaz the Damned remaster? Why not go with like some of the I didn't like Dante's Inferno, but why the hell not do a new Dante's Inferno or a Dante's Inferno remaster?
Yeah, like I'm all about it, and especially with the detail that they're putting Ghost Games on the bench for now because they've been churning out them Need for Speeds over the last few years. And I'll also point out that a lot of people were saying that I forget if it was Heat or Payback, whatever the most recent Need for Speed game was. Apparently, a lot of people like that one. Like when we talk about like the grand scheme of Need for Speed games, at least the last generation of them. The last one, apparently, people were like, "Oh no, this is actually better than the last few." That said,
one a couple of years ago that was like it was an open world racing game and it was fine, but like at some point it was, oh, we just have to keep redoing races for parts, or you can just buy things. I'm like, oh, you guys have learned like no lessons here.
Yeah,
but that was a few years ago.
I think the idea of them bringing Criterion off the bench, because Criterion's been, as I understand it, has been like essentially co-developing stuff with DICE for like Battlefield and Battlefront stuff. Like that's kind of what they've been relegated to. Them bringing them off the bench to actually work on Need for Speed, sounds like a good idea, especially because that seems like it could lend some freshness to Need for Speed as a franchise to have maybe Ghost Games and Criterion rotating on it as opposed to Ghost Games just like churning these things out. Number one. And then I think them doing the remaster to Hot Pursuit allows them to get their feet wet and like allows them to be like, all right, yeah, let's get things going. We'll be able to remaster this thing, and from there we'll work on our new original Need for Speed. You pointing out the how they kept rebooting and like reusing the names, I find to be very fascinating because like looking back, right, like they redid Most Wanted, or they rebooted Most Wanted. They rebooted Hot Pursuit. The one that they didn't reboot was Underground, which I feel like is the one that people probably would have wanted the most, right?
No, I was thinking of the one. I was thinking of The Run. Actually, I was like, oh, the names are so weird. Yeah, they should have rebooted Underground, didn't they? They reused the name.
There was Underground and there was Underground 2, but both of those were like PS2 games. I don't think they ever brought that back, which shocks me. Unless like they brought it back in like a mobile game or something, I wouldn't know. But
mobile game sounds familiar, but yeah, I'm not seeing. I'd swear they brought it back, but I guess I'm wrong.
Kindoffunny.com/you're wrong if they brought back Need for Speed Underground. I feel like that'd be like a huge thing for so many people. Story number 3, speaking of a huge thing for so many people, we have all the details on Pokemon Sword and Shield Crown Tundra DLC. I'm going to read from JoeSkrebels at IGN, who detailed it all. The Crown Tundra expansion for Pokemon Sword and Shield will be released on October 22nd. The Crown Tundra is a snowy new open area being added to the world of Sword and Shield, adding new characters, Pokemon, and quests. You'll be able to explore Pokemon dens and meet every legendary Pokemon in the series so far, as well as a brand new mythical Pokemon and new forms of the original legendary birds, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. Dynamax Adventures will join 3 other trainers to explore caves and take on battles against Dynamax Pokemon. The brief clips we've seen to point to choices of route that you take past. Hold on, let me say this again. The brief clips we've seen point to choices of route that take you past different Pokemon types. The Galarian Star Tournament will also be added to the game, an endgame event allowing you to battle alongside and against trainers from throughout Sword and Shield. The tournament should offer new story and character elements that weren't available in the main game. On November 6th, you'll also be able to buy bundled versions of Pokemon Sword and Shield alongside their respective expansion passes. No price was given for the bundled version. To celebrate the Crown Tundra announcement, you'll also be able to catch 8 versions of Ash's Pikachu wearing a variety of different caps, each unlocked by mystery gift passwords that are entered in-game. As far as we know right now, the Crown Tundra expansion will be the final piece of new content for Pokemon Sword and Shield. Imran, I know you played Pokemon Sword and Shield when it came out. We both played Pokemon Sword and Shield when it came out. Have you been following the DLC at all, or is this something that'll bring you back in?
No, I watched my girlfriend play the first DLC and she seemed to enjoy it, and I did not like Sword and Shield, so I just didn't bother getting into the DLC, but it seems fine. It seems like kind of what I wanted more from that game. But it wasn't enough to like really solve the problems I had with it. But yeah, this to me feels like, okay, here's what our ideas are for next gen. Let's say if we like not next gen consoles, but next gen Pokemon. So I like the direction they're going. In my mind, this may be unfair of me, and there's gonna be people who are gonna get really mad when I say this. My brain just turns off when they mention Gen 1 Pokemon. It's not that
How
I
dare
dislike.
you? How dare you? Out of all the things, I thought you were gonna say something that I'd be like, you know what, man, controversial, but I hear what you're saying. I don't know what you mean when you say that. How dare you?
It's not that I dislike those Pokemon.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
that they
super
use them
confused.
all the. So Gen 1 Pokemon are the original 150. Like
No,
the Charizard.
no. I knew what you meant there. I'm super confused on like what you're saying.
They use them so often, and it's
because they're awesome.
It's so for like you. My favorite generation is Black and White because I love the idea of, okay, here's just a fresh start. Here is just a new set of Pokemon that these are the only ones you can catch. You're not the time Pokemon broke for me was Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, where you did a gym leader and then you had to go back through a cave. And then I went through the cave, and then there was the only Pokemon in the cave were Geodude and Zubat. And just
Takes
that
us
moment,
back. That's nostalgia right
was
there.
like, God damn it, we've been doing Geodude and Zubat in caves for the last 4 games. And that was the part that got me, is like, why are we still using these Pokemon? You have replacements for these Pokemon. Or if you're not, you can make a new bat. You can make a new rock Pokemon. I don't need to see these same Pokemon over and over and over and over again. Like, if Pokemon Snap 2 is primarily the original 150, and I know it won't be, I know there'll be more than that, then it's like, well, why? Because we had Pokemon Snap 1. And that's the reasoning I bring into other new Pokemon games is, okay, cool. It's Mewtwo again. It's Zapdos, Articuno, and Moltres again. It's all these Pokemon again and again and again. Why can't we just get get some new ones that we focus on? You've made so many good designs over the years. There's like 900 Pokemon now. Why can't you just use those guys instead?
I hear you. I think I actually have a similar feeling on the matter, but less so about the original 150 and more so about how I feel like so many of the new Pokemon they make feel just iterative of what they've done before. Where we look at I'm tired of the 3 starters being grass, water, fire. Like I'm at this point, I'm kind of bored out by it, especially because like if you put every starter Pokemon, like the first evolution form of every starter Pokemon, just on a chart with each other, they all look so similar, and so like they're just round fire beings or like a round grass rat or like
there was a period where like it was just only firefighting for the final evolution for fire Pokemon. Like that was just all they had, and then at some point like Incineroar, he is not a fighting type, but he is a pro wrestler, and they just like, okay, let's call him Dark. And that's the weird thing, like there's not enough variety in those original starters. So I think
Yes.
they should move it to fighting Psychic Dark as the
And like,
triangle.
and it even goes beyond that for me, because I think Sword and Shield kind of broke down for me a bit toward the beginning, where I chose my starter and I was like, all right, cool, whatever. And then I go into like the first route or the first area or whatever, and the first Pokemon I'm finding are, oh, here's a small bird Pokemon. Oh, here's a normal type Pokemon that's like I forget exactly what the one is in Sword and Shield, but let's say like a sheep or something. That like the archetypes that they have in terms of the progression of Pokemon that you're finding in these games seem to mirror each other from game to game in a way where I'm like, I am playing the same game over and over again, it feels like.
And that's
and that's what I want to see change.
That is to me one of the annoying things is like, take Sword and Shield as an example. One of the reasons I didn't like this game is when I play a Pokemon game, I try to start fresh. I only use Pokemon that are new to that game. But there's not a lot of variety if you do that, because they do lean so hard on the original, like the Gen 1 Pokemon especially. And it's just when people were freaking out about national decks, is like, why isn't every Pokemon in this game? It's like, honestly, if you just stopped making, or if you stopped bringing in old Pokemon, if you like cut out gens and just made new ones, like just put those resources towards making new Pokemon, I would be happy. I'm sure there are a lot of people who are like, no, I need Bulbasaur because Bulbasaur is my favorite. But like, I don't know. I quit playing Pokemon Let's Go because I realized at some point that this is the exact same team I had before. I've done this exact same run before, and that was like
you're not adding variety into your life, man. Every time I play those old games, I have a different team. You have 150 Pokemon to choose from. It's a whole new world to. I forget what the theme song is that Tim would sing right now. It's a whole new world to see, though. Like you got to spice things up, man.
Right. So I think Pokemon is one of those things. It's the franchise is so big that it's serving a bunch of different audiences at once. And right now they're over-serving the nostalgia audience. So maybe like balance that out a little bit better.
I definitely feel that. I definitely understand that. Before we get into story number 4, I want to tell you guys about our sponsor. Of course, you can go to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames where you can get the show ad-free. And speaking of ads, this episode of Kind of Funny Games Daily is brought to you by Upstart. During these economically turbulent times, everyone is looking for a way to feel more financially secure. So if you're still needlessly throwing money every month at high interest credit card debt, it's time you checked out Upstart, the revolutionary online lending platform that knows you're more than just a credit score. Now is the time to find out how low your Upstart rate can be to help pay off high interest credit card debt. Unlike other lenders, Upstart can reward you based on your education and job history in the form of a smarter rate. You don't need a degree or diploma to apply, though. Upstart lets you skip going to the bank because it's completely online. They offer loans from $1,000 to $50,000, so you can consolidate your debt into one easy fixed rate payment. Upstart makes it fast and simple to check your rate. Since it's just a soft pull, it won't affect your credit score. The hard pull happens if you accept your rate and proceed with your application. The best part, if the loan is approved and accepted, most people get their funds the very next business day. Over 400,000 people have used Upstart to pay off credit cards or meet their financial goals. Free yourself from the burden of high interest credit card debt and get back to using your money your way with Upstart. See why Upstart has a 4.9 out of 5 rating on Trustpilot, and hurry up to upstart.com/kfgames to find out how low your Upstart rate can be. Checking your rate only takes a few minutes. That's upstart.com/kfgames. Your loan amount will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. Not all applicants will qualify for the full amount. We're also brought to you by Hims. ForHims.com is all about men's wellness. We all know the story. Andy and Nick wanted to maintain their own wellness, so they looked to Hims for help keeping their hair full and healthy. We can confirm they've been loving it ever since. Through Hims, you can get the prescription medication that treats erectile dysfunction, real science, real solutions. This could cost hundreds of bucks if you had to go through a doctor or pharmacy. Not so with Hims. Hims makes it simple and affordable. No embarrassing conversations, no expensive appointments. Just answer a few questions online about your medical history, and a provider will confidentially review. If approved, your medication is shipped directly to your door in discreet packaging, and shipping is free. No more searching online for answers to questions about erectile dysfunction or sexual wellness. Just go to your Hims account and ask a medical professional you can trust. Try Hims today by starting out with a free online visit. Go to forhims.com/gamesdaily for your free visit. That's forhims.com/gamesdaily. forhims.com/gamesdaily. Prescription products are subject to medical provider approval and require an online consultation with a medical provider who will determine if prescription is appropriate. See website for full details and safety information. Again, forhims.com/gamesdaily. And lastly, brought to you by Logitech. Logitech has been my go-to for a long time when it comes to gaming headsets, and the Pro X wireless Lightspeed gaming headset is a game changer. Based on the award-winning Pro gaming headset design, Pro X wireless headset features high-quality materials, advanced communications, precision audio, and total wireless freedom. It's a high-performance Pro X gaming headset with Lightspeed wireless technology and up to 20-plus hours of battery life. It also features a detachable pro-grade microphone featuring real-time Blue Voice technology, including passive noise isolation, compressor limiter, and more for clean, professional voice comms. It doesn't stop there, as there's also the advanced Pro G 50mm drivers, which deliver clear and precise sound imaging with improved bass response. Hear footsteps and environmental cues with clarity to give you the competitive advantage. You can also experience the headset's supreme comfort and durability. For a limited time, Logitech G is offering our listeners 10% off select products at logitechg.com. Use code KFGames for 10% off today. That's 10% off select Logitech G products with promo code KFGames. Story number 4.
Before we move on to story number 4, there was also part of that Pokemon thing, a music video they released.
Oh, I heard about this. Yes.
That has a song from Bumpa Chicken, who did the Tales of Abyss opening theme and like the Grand Blue Fantasy anime theme. It's good. People should watch that music video.
I'm gonna check it out. What's the? I mean, is the video just like Pokemon dancing? Like, is it?
It's mostly focused on trainers. So it's just like a cool stylish. It's done by the animation studio Bones. So basically, the Alchemist OPs. It's a little like that.
I'm gonna check it out because I love watching me some Pokemon music videos. Like, jokes aside though, like I do like that if you go to I forget which YouTube channel it is. I think it might be the Pokemon official YouTube channel. They've done really interesting things as far as like promoting Sword and Shield. Yeah. Like they have like anime bits that they've uploaded there. There are like tales from the Pokemon game, and it's like, I don't know, like weirdly quality stuff that they're uploading there, and I appreciate it.
The Twitter account has been going through every single Pokemon and recently tweeted Porygon did nothing wrong. Which
I saw that. I was very confused.
Like, it's like, you know the story, right? Of like why they don't use Porygon and things anymore.
No.
Like
they don't?
In 97 or 98, there was a Porygon episode of the anime that caused seizures. Like,
what? No, that was wasn't that Polygon?
Porygon. That's the name of the Pokemon.
No, isn't Polygon the first one, and then Porygon is the
No, it's
no,
Porygon,
the second one is
Porygon, then Porygon 2.
Porygon 2, then Porygon Z.
Oh.
I remember.
But that did happen, right?
There...
It did cause seizures.
Yes. And they pulled that episode from syndication and just stopped really using Porygon and things after that.
Really? Okay. I knew that there was the Pokemon episode that gave people seizures that they pulled out. Yes. I didn't realize that then reflected badly on Porygon, and they were like, all right, Porygon is just not like, we're ignoring Porygon from now on. Like, they just straight up canceled Porygon, which is crazy.
Well, Porygon did nothing wrong according to the Twitter account, so maybe he'll make a comeback.
That's hilarious. Story number 4. We have an Epic v Apple update. The judge calls for trial by fire. JK. Trial by jury. This is James Batchelor at gamesindustry.biz. The judge overseeing the ongoing antitrust dispute between Epic Games and Apple has proposed a trial by jury, which is likely to take place next year. The first hearing in the case was held via a 3-hour video conference yesterday, and both sides argued their case directly to the judge for the first time. Judge Yvonne Gonzalez-Rogers didn't offer a ruling on the restraining order Epic has requested, which would compel Apple to return Fortnite to the App Store, according to GamesBeat's extensive write-up. However, she did propose the case be elevated above a single person's ruling. Quote, I think personally this case should be tried to a jury, she said. I don't think individual judges have the be-all and end-all here, end quote. Gonzalez-Rogers expects the trial could begin in July 2021 at the earliest. Quote, I think this is going to be a fascinating trial, she said. walled gardens have existed for decades. Nintendo has had a walled garden. Sony has had a walled garden. Microsoft has had a walled garden. In this particular industry, what Apple is doing is not much different. End quote. There's more that you can read into. I know GamesBeat has coverage. I read the entire gamesindustry.biz article on this, and they go into details about like the arguments that were made and like some of the new stuff that came to light regarding it. And honestly, like I'm of the mind that I really hope Epic wins this case because I think that'll reflect better on the industry as a whole. That said, I don't know anymore if Epic really has a chance to win this case based on what I read in that gamesindustry.biz article.
So I'll shout out Shannon Lau at CNN. She did a very good like write up of this, and she was tweeting basically the aspect of the trial. This is good and bad for Epic. It's bad in that this is a hearing for an injunction to make Apple like stop their removal of Fortnite from iOS. They lose millions upon millions of dollars a day, or Epic does, that if Fortnite is not on iOS. So this is bad for them financially. It's good because the judge was really going to rule against them based on the things she was saying, that she doesn't believe Epic really has a case here because they're not applying it equally. They're only going after Apple and Google. And she did straight up ask them at one point, like, hey, why aren't you going after Sony and Nintendo and them? And the actual answer is Sony invests in us. The answer Epic gave was like, we're not focusing on that right now. So going to a trial by jury might be better off for them because it does mean they don't necessarily have to play to the legal arguments so much as they can say, hey, Apple is a monopoly. Monopolies are bad. And you're right. It is probably Epic has a good argument here. They have regardless of motive or reasoning, they have a very righteous argument.
Yes, they have like a just cause that like is, I think, transparently, obviously, like y'all are doing this because it's going to make you guys way more money in the long run. But also, if you guys win, like you guys do have an argument that Apple has a monopoly here, and like these restrictions, even across the board for the industry, are not good. Like, you know, if we can get those percentages down, if we could create more freedom on these platforms, that is only going to lend towards better development, like, or better cases on the development side of things, as opposed to like the like the Apples and the Sonys and the Microsofts and all that jazz.
Yeah.
The tough thing here is that, like, even reading through how Epic is presenting their arguments here, like in their case, very much seems, if a lot of these arguments seem like bad arguments. Like,
no, yeah,
even
they're not being represented well, honestly. Like, I'm not
at all.
I don't know. So, like, just looking at this and looking at how the judge responded, they have the right arguments here, but they're not presenting them well. And I think that could kill them. But who knows how a jury is going to react? I think Epic should maybe like look into changing out their counsel a little bit, because this is not necessarily like I said, the judge was going to rule against them completely.
Reading the quotes, if I was the judge, I'd be like, Epic, your case here is bad. Like, they're not fighting.
The case is not like, this case decision could affect long-term stuff for everyone, where it's like, if a company creates its own platform, they may not be able to dictate the rules 100%, which is like very much like, it is true that like, if PlayStation makes PlayStation 5, they are the one that puts the stamp on what game, you know, gets put out, right?
Yeah.
And like, you can't build unless you have a dev kit. So like, they have a monopoly on that. It's it's a slippery slope if they were to win the case. And I think if Epic were to win the case, like, cause like, what would stop them from immediately being like, all right, cool, now let's turn our eyes on, like, now we can use this as precedent to screw over like all the other like game console makers.
That's the thing. Like, when the judge points out, like, all right, so what is about Apple specifically that is making you guys go after them when other companies have the same restrictions? And like, seemingly their answer was that, yeah, Apple is where the bulk of our user base is. Like, so many people play Fortnite through Apple, and so and it's like, that's not really. the arguments are very weird arguments that they're making here.
They're making business arguments to a judge, which is not going to work out.
Yeah.
Like, and I think one of the things that actually is interesting to me is I wonder, because we talked about Amazon Luna before, right?
Yes.
Like the way that's coming onto iOS by slipping in through the browser and not paying their fee to Apple. I wonder if in a situation that Apple shuts that thing down, or like forces them to adhere to the current rules they put on Stadia and Game Pass and all that, does that give more ammo to Epic to say, look at what's happening here? They may not control the entire smartphone market or the entire games market, but they did have unilateral decision-making processes on this ecosystem, and that's not allowed. That is verging on monopoly, or it is illegal for some. Like, can they make that argument then? And if so, like, is Amazon expecting that's going to happen? Are they trying to like sneak in there for a better long-term gain? I don't know. Like, this is all super interesting, but yeah, Epic was not, if only going by this injunction hearing, Epic is not playing their full hand right now.
Yeah, not at all. Like, I think their argument should probably come more so for, and maybe this is just the bad way to do it legally, and I'm not a lawyer, and so obviously I'm not a lawyer, and so maybe there's bits about the arguments that they're making that would hold more weight in court as opposed to, hey, this is better for the industry. But in my view, I feel like they should come from the place of, hey, like, what Apple is doing is stopping the industry. And like, if we're able to knock down Apple here, then that is going to be good for how the industry operates overall. Like, I feel like that should be where their argument is coming from, and that is not where that is not the argument that they're making in the hearings. I highly recommend people go to gamesindustry.biz or to GamesBeat to check out the full case, because it's very fascinating stuff to read, honestly.
Yeah.
Imran, I'm very excited to see what happens by possibly July 2021, possibly later, when it comes to these hearings and the trial by jury. But that trial by jury is probably so far away. If I want to know what's coming out to mom and pop shops today, where would I look?
I thought you were going to say I'm very excited to be a lawyer, but the official list of upcoming software across each and every platform is listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily Show host each and every weekday.
Yeah. Out today, we got Return One-Way Trip for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. The Walking Dead Onslaught for PC and PSVR. Projection First Light for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Bacon Man, an adventure for Switch. Bartlow's Dread Machine for Xbox One. Splunky 2 for PC. Warsaw for PS4. Escape Quest for PC. Astral Towers for PC. The Sojourn for PC. Alwa's Legacy for Switch. And then a new All Hallows Eve character skin pack is available now as part of the Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath expansion. And then 2 elusive legendary moose have been reported in Red Dead Online this week, with new generous rewards being offered for their samples and pelts. Again, every week I read the Red Dead Online updates and I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck is going on in that game. And then the Killing Floor 2 Infernal Insurrection update is out today on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. We have one new date. Torchlight 3 is launching on October 13th for PC, Xbox One, and PS4. The Switch version is coming later this year. And then we have a few deals of the day for you, starting with Xbox Game Pass. Coming soon on October 1st, we're going to get Doom Eternal, and that's on console and Android. Drake Hollow on PC. And then October 8th for Xbox Game Pass, we're getting Brutal Legend on console, Forza Motorsport 7 on all platforms, and then Eichenfell on console and PC. Xbox games with gold for October have also been announced. We got Slay Away Camp, Butcher's Cut, Maid of Skur, Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy, and Costume Quest. Awesome. And then lastly, for deals of the day, we have Elite Dangerous Horizons. It'll be free for all Elite Dangerous players starting on October 27th. Imran, usually this is where we get into questions, but we had a big old question from Will Ramos that we took out and put into early in the show. And so this is where we'd usually, after questions, jump into squad up, but we got no squad ups. And so we're jumping directly into kindoffunny.com/you're wrong, where you write in and let us know what we got wrong as we got it wrong. People are writing in about me being wrong about Halloween colors. And to be clear, this has been settled. I know I was wrong about the Halloween colors. This is from a week ago. Let's see here.
But we're all happy you can admit you were wrong.
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely down to admit when I'm wrong about holiday colors.
Green and purple.
Well, I was thinking that's like witch colors, right?
No,
like when I think of a witch,
I get it. And here's
Yeah.
the thing.
I can
Here's the
see
thing.
it.
You can't make black out of light. So if I want to decorate my house, I have been looking at green and purple. Does look very much like a haunted house.
Yeah. Blessing's not wrong. It's just like
No. I mean, he's definitely wrong though. Like
Halloween
those colors
in a haunted house, those colors will come into play.
I think
green
it's
and
like
purple?
sure.
If I came out wearing orange, people would be like, "Oh yeah, Halloween." But if I came out
Absolutely.
wearing green and purple, it'd be like, "That's just green and purple."
Is he into Mardi Gras? Is he missing gold?
I'd be like, oh, witch colors. I don't know. Have you seen The Wicked? I don't.
I just imagine you
Have you
offending
seen The
somebody, being
Wicked?
like, you see someone on the bus like, "Oh, which color?" And they just like look at you like, "What?"
What the fuck? I'm celebrating Mardi Gras right now.
Yeah, apparently PS4 or PS5 game pre-orders went up. I'm going digital.
Oh,
so
I
I'm not
see.
going to pre-order anything.
Yeah, people were writing in about missed new dates for like Sackboy Adventure, and I'm like, that was announced as a launch title, right? Like that's not a new date. But I see it's the basically like the special edition stuff. We'll get into that more probably later because this is all coming in as the show's going. Kabobs writes in with the Pokemon theme song that I was referencing. It's a whole new world to live in. It's a whole new world to see. It's a whole new place with a brand new attitude, but we still got to catch them all to do the best that you can do.
The hell are you talking about?
Talking about Pokemon the Johto Journeys, Kevin.
Yeah.
Oh, I never watched that one.
Ash lost that. No, wait, he lost Orange. No, he won Orange League. He lost the Pokemon League.
Didn't he
I thought he
win a league recently?
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
didn't he lose like every league that he competed in except for like one recently?
He beat Drake, I think, in Orange Islands.
They got Drake in this shit?
We don't count Orange Islands
We do not count Orange Islands in this household.
in this household. Tomorrow's hosts for Kind of Funny Games Daily are Greg and Gary Whitta. I should point out right after this episode of Kind of Funny Games Daily, if you're watching live, Andy Cortez is going to be streaming on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. So stick around if you want to see the game he'll be playing. What game is it? You'll have to see because I have no idea.
It says on the calendar.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm looking at the doc where Greg, I think, wrote in.
Nope, it was me. I wrote that in.
Oh, that was you? Okay, what was he playing, Kevin?
Call of Duty. He's
playing Call of Duty.
Something to do with Call of Duty. He
Hell
said something
yeah.
in the general about Call of Duty. It's on the calendar.
Cool. Well, stay tuned. Watch Andy play Call of Duty, probably. Of course, this has been Kind of Funny Games Daily, each and every weekday live right here on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. We run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. We have a Patreon post show for those that are subbed at the silver level of patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. So stick around for that. Otherwise, until next time, Game Daily.